Hey everybody, this is something that I've been working on for a little bit. This is the training video, not so much training video, I'm just more of a video that I'm going to make so that you have an understanding on how to set up LM Studio and Anything LLM and bring your models in. Now, one of the things you want to do first is download LM Studio. You can go to Google and type in LM Studio download. But this is what it looks like at this moment for the landing page, and then you download it for Windows, or I think there's another one, but right now it's recognized that I have Windows. Okay, so let's remove that. And after that, you want to download Anything LLM, because we're going to use both of these. And this one, I'm on a Windows computer right now. In fact, this is my older computer setup. This is a RTX 4090. Okay, so once you download it, unless you want to set it up for a different drive, default is C drive. One of the things you want to make sure, if you do use C drive, it will be helpful for you if you don't really understand how to move things around. When you load Anything LLM, if it's on the C drive, they'll recognize each other. Okay, so what you're seeing on the screen right now is LM Studio. It's set up. If you look over here on the left side in chat mode, that's what this little box here says, chat. This one is developer. When you click on that, it shows you the feed at the bottom. We'll go through that when I set up the other program. This one is your models. You can see I've got a lot of them loaded. They're listed at different things on here. So right now, the one I just loaded to test is Gemma the Writer in Restless Quill 10B Uncensored. It's a Q4, so it's quantized 4, and quantize is how they're broken down for size. There's quant 8, Q8, Q6, Q4, Q2. Q4 is like the happy medium, where you still got most of the best parts of the model, and as far as the loss of what you really need, I can't remember what the percentage is, but it's not that much, and it also runs better on your machine, which puts it at 5.80 gigabytes. The importance of this, besides the fact that you can see how much it is to run your machine, when you go over to the search bar, and we're going to start with the hardware. So you go into hardware. This is what your computer has. Now you can see this is my RTX 4090 because it's got one of those cards on it. And I can set it over here so it can also be dedicated for this. Or I can turn it off, and it will also use some of the RAM, which I've got 127 gigabytes of RAM and 23.99 gigabytes of VRAM. VRAM is the important part. So if you get a new computer and you load this software, go to hardware, go to VRAM, and look at this number. Okay, this is the number that is going to match up to what you're able to download. So go to model search. In model search, you're going to see at the top here, if you click on one of them, look what I did here, you're going to see the information on it. You're going to see the parameter, which is a 32-bit. You're going to see down here where it's showing you the size. Download is 19 gigabytes. The download size kind of gives you an idea on what it's going to take to run it. Because when you load the model, you're loading the entire program, the entire thing onto your graphics card. So when you're looking at it, look at the number. So this is 19.48. And when we go to my hardware says I have 23.99 gigabytes of VRAM. So knowing that, I now know that I can load that model fully on my video graphics card, and it's going to run at a very decent rate. If you were to go back to model search, and let's find one that's a little bigger. Some of these are okay, so it's loading here, the size. 63.39 gigabytes. So this one, even if it runs, it's going to load, and I don't remember if I tested it or not, it's going to load onto my system RAM, which is going to slow it down. It should still work, but I think it'll slow it down. Let's try it. So it's loading at the top. And This is how you load the models, by the way. They're all loaded in here. This is where I have them. While it's loading, this is the token count as far as context, not token count, context length. So the more you have within this, it allows it to have more memory as far as what you're talking, texting, and holding into its information. Now this whole setup is not the model per se as the one that we're talking about building. This is the engine part. This is the part that loads the model itself, and that's it. This is nothing more. Now I'm going to take it off of this preset. I was going to see if I can just put it on a blank one. Okay, so we've got the thing there loaded. I've made a chat window called test. I'm just going to see how fast this runs. Okay, so 11.89 tokens per second, which isn't bad considering what we're running here on this older machine. So it's running at 11.89 tokens a second. Now, if you want to switch models, and let's try this one. This one's a 10 billion, so it's loading faster. See, that was 92 tokens per second. So it doesn't really, completely matter as far as when you're going back in here and you're looking at your hardware, seeing what you can run, because you've got VRAM and you've got system RAM. So when you go to model search, sometimes if you get one that's way too big, and I don't know. Okay. Now, I'm running this on the Beast computer, which is what Abby's been running on, the 480B Qwen 3 coder. It says likely too large. It is 226.72 gigabytes in size. The download is large too. The thing is, when you run this, if I was even to push it on this, it would be running really slow. Now, if you come up here, you can see where it shows the model card. You can open in a browser. It'll pull up Hugging Face, and it'll give you a little more description on what you're looking at for a model. And as far as models go, we will probably go into that in more detail later, but the rest of this is what I want to show you now as far as what you need to do. So we've got the model loaded, the context length here. You can change it. If we push it up to 8192, which is the maximum, and we're going to remember that number, which you can come back to. Come down here to developer, and you want to click on, I believe it's this button. Nope, this one down here. There's two gears. And click on developer. You want to make sure that this is enabled. This is telling the system to run headless so that you can also run it in the other system, which is Anything LLM. Now this is the download window up the side. When you're downloading models, if you come over here, you find one you want. Find one here. So you click on download. This one won't work though, it's too large. Qwen 3 coder, this is a smaller version of it. It's a 30B. This one should work. But we're going to go into the other side now, which is Anything LLM. So once you get the other one set, and the one thing, I believe it says it up. Yeah, right here. So here's the reachable. This is where the signals or the information is sending through. Reachable at this location. When you pull up this for the first time, you're not going to have any of these names. This is going to be your workspace. You would click on this to create one. So if I click on that and we click on, say, test. Save. And nothing's been done with it yet. Okay, so if you were to go in here The chat settings, this is where you set up your prompt. Okay, system prompt, this is where you would write everything, which I'll go over probably in the body of the text. This is the chat history. On this smaller computer, I've got it left it at default of 20. My larger one, I have it set for 30 chats to hold in memory. These are my different personalities. What I want to show you, though, is setting up the setup. So when you open this up, you want to click on LLM. You can select different version or different connections. Obviously, there's many different ones. We're using LM Studio. You can use Olama, but for the purpose of this training or this informational, I'm showing you how I'm using it. So the model we're using is Gemma the Writer, and let me switch this back to chat so we can look at our token count. So I set it to 8192. So we want to have this set to 8192. And it's already set for Gemma the Writer, uncensored. And these are the other models that I could load in here if I want. But this is the one we're using. And this is the connection that should show up. If it doesn't show up, this is where you got to enter it from where I showed you over here. Oh, also, if you change the content length on this, it's going to restart the model. So when it'll say reload to change it. So that's what it's going to do there. Okay, so you save the changes. Changes are saved. Is voice and speech. Piper is free. That's what this one is set for. You can use 11 Labs. I've built my own link on the other computer. I've linked it to Fish Audio. I like Fish Audio, at least for one that I haven't designed myself, because you can make as many clone voices as you want. It's reasonably priced. I think there's a sale going on right now. And it's right now, this is the end of November 2025. But you might want to look. Fish Audio, if you use it and you want the information, I can send you the information as far as how to link them together instead of paying for the 11 Labs. But if you want to test it out, just set Piper. Set Local Whisper. This is the free part. This is where it's going to listen to your voice, and you don't have to type if you don't want to. Then when it plays back, you can play it back here. There's some other settings that I'm going to get into more detail on another video on some of the specifics of that. Agent skills. Web search is on. I'm using DuckDuckGo. It's free. And the other ones on here I have set to on. Okay, now Nike I haven't used yet, so we're going to see. There's no personality really set, so other than I have it set to be kind of a smartass, so that's why we got words like that. But what I want to show you now is loading embeddings. Okay, so the embedder is already set up this as far as the default. You can change it, but I would leave it set as the default. I've already got some things in here. So when you're downloading your chats from ChatGPT, don't throw them all in here at once, because I don't know what kind of system you have. You might lock it up if you really overload it. I would start out with one chat file, load it in, and see if it's able to handle it, which it should be able to. And then if it handles it fairly decently, you can try 2 chats and then 3. I don't know how many you got. I had 165 chats. I got it to the point where I could load, I think it was 20 chats without actually causing it an issue. So you would take your file and you would just drag it into this box right here. It will load it into this work area. then you can transfer it over to Violet's side over here. These are some of the ones I have sitting here right now. You can also scrub websites if you want, but like I said, that's getting more complicated than what you need to learn right now. So when you load this, you're going to drop your chats in here. You can have them in plain text, you can have them in JSON files, you can have them in rich text, you can have them in WordPad. Really, you can have them however you want it. You can load books in here. I've got a CZUR book scanner that I make searchable PDFs. I load those in here. You can load manuals in here. Anything you want the model to remember or whatever you're building. I'm going to build a model that just looks at insurance paperwork, and that's all it's going to do. And that will be going in here and basically set up separately. Okay. The only other thing I wanted to show you, and I've got to pull up a piece here. I don't have anything set up for Nike yet, so I'm going to use just a few of these information here. I don't know if it will embed it. Okay, so when you throw a file in here, the other way to embed it was how I showed you a moment ago. This is the other way to embed it for individual models. And it's the way I do it when I build other ones. So it just tells you how big it is. We're not going to say continue anywhere. We're going to embed the file. So I'm going to embed it. And you can see how long this is taking. And that wasn't a very long file. This is 314 kilobytes. One of the reasons why you don't want to overload your computer too much. Okay, so that's how you load that in. Now, this is an agent. This is one I have as far as set up inside there for finding information. So you can use it for any of these things. And once you use it, to shut it off, you have to click //exit, and then you're back out of it and back into standard messaging. So while you do something like this, it's running pretty fast on here, really. Okay, so what we've got here now that I've loaded this model with a little piece of RAG memory, it says how many tokens a second it's running, 68 tokens a second. Over here with citations, this tells you that it actually went into RAG memory and pulled out 4 references from RAG memory. Now, maybe I do. I think I might have it set up for audio. Let's check it. I think it might be Piper.
Today, adaptive styles a tempest of longing, exquisite.
And Piper's free, but it's not that great. I wanted to show you was the chat setting. So we got the prompt in there for her. It's set for 20. And the wrench down here takes you into where you need to get back to the LLM, which is where you make sure you link the models, which is what's running in LM Studio over here. And if we put it back on this, shows you a context link, and we get into a few other things here. We have flash attention, and some of these things are experimental that we really don't want to mess with unless you're advanced and you want to test it out. Pretty much as far as getting you going, that's pretty much what you need to do to start it out. The embedder, which is here, the LLM, the voice and speech. We have the workspace chats, which is your saved chats. This is where they're saved in memory. You can actually take these and use them to train with if you wanted to download them. And there's some browser tools. You can set up some tools to start scrubbing websites with as well. And for right now, I want to keep it at this so that at least you can get started.